Hi again, everyone. I'm olliemathews. This is Societal Narcissism. This video is sponsored by contribution from Sunshine, and here's her story. Hello, Ollie. Sunshine again. Since Thanksgiving is coming up, I wanted to share a story from this year and some from the past. Hopefully, this will serve as validation for others choosing to stay no contact who are doubting themselves this year. The holidays could be especially hard that first year of no contact. My mother's controlling nature meant Thanksgiving was at our house with only a few exceptions. Those being if she were sick or one year when she hauled the food to my grandfather's house to cook there. He lived close by, though. That wasn't a huge deal, except for the beef with some family that came. She likes to complain she never had any help. In reality, she never directly asked for more than for us girls to set the table. Her sister used to help clean up afterwards and usually brought one dish or some pies. Us kids would participate in a lot of the setup and clean up out inside and out. Generally, we would avoid getting involved in the kitchen unless directly asked, as my mother pounded away at tasks, snapping at people, ranting about being stressed out, and starting arguments any chance she had. Yeah, again, this sounds like my mother and her sisters. Always the victim, always working hard, nobody does anything, it's all on them, and then you have to just wait for the freak out. Fun holidays for all, isn't it? Threatening to cancel dinner, all that jazz. Naturally, she never thanked anyone or acknowledged any contributions. My parents expected me to play mind-reading Cinderella. There would be hell to pay if I didn't, yet they refused to ever say thank you because, well, I never asked you. Well, they never say thank you. They never, especially to you. You're obligated to do that. There's no thanks. There's no thanks in Thanksgiving. There's no thanks for you in Thanksgiving. You should be thanking them for even them allowing you to be in their presence. Don't you understand that? My mother has issues with hoarding and poor sanitation, so in an unfortunate way, I looked forward to the holidays because my mother would finally get the house relatively clean and keep it that way. It was the annual shove everything into the master bedroom event, and this caused tension in their marriage. We often had to hear about it at the breakfast table. Someday I'd like to go into full detail about it, but looking back, it really does highlight how deliberate it was. Hoarding always is. Hoarding is just another means of control for the narcissist. You show me a hoarder, I'm going to show you somebody with narcissistic personality disorder, or one of the cluster Bs. Narcissistic, histrionic, borderline, it's one of them. Because it's all about control. She could absolutely get it clean to save face in front of the family. The other 10 months, it was just rants, excuses, control through clutter, and the stress that comes with it. In our teens and as an adult, my older sister heavily participated in cooking. My mother constantly started fights with her until the entire Thanksgiving day pretty much consisted of arguing in the kitchen. Familiar? Our mother was constantly criticizing every move she made. You're not cutting that right. I don't like it like that. You're doing it wrong. Escalating to, you don't appreciate me. Why are you mad at me? I'm just trying to help. And so on. Jeez, this could have been recorded at my family's Thanksgivings. My older sister always had a passion for cooking, and in this time frame she was in, or had completed, a culinary course in college. In hindsight, my mom knows fuck all about cooking and little about food safety, and she didn't care to know. How do you fight over the knife skills of a college-educated chef as if it even matters? How? What do you mean how? Because your sister has some kind of qualification that your mother doesn't have, and your mother's in constant competition with her children, with her daughters. So the narcissist always attacks your strength, what they're jealous of, what that makes them feel inferior to you. See, it's a weird mental state for these people because at the same time they feel superior to you, they also feel inferior to you. They feel that they are your better, anointed by God or anointed by nature, however you want to put it. Yet at the same time, when they see you, they are completely intimidated by you. They are jealous. They are intimidated. They feel inferior to you, and it drives them insane. Why? Because that's their entire identity. With that, they're nothing. Without that, there are nothing. You're a tasteless baby boomer, that's how. On my end, I took up baking before Thanksgiving Day so we could finally have baked goods that didn't suck. Naturally, the years where my older sister started helping were the best Thanksgiving meals we ever had. The whole family would compliment how the turkey wasn't dry, the stuffing was so well seasoned, and the gravy was to die for, which would drive your mother insane. And I'm not exaggerating that. My older sister has a, a sommelier palate, if that's how you say that. Her cooking is extremely good. My mother would just sit there and glare, especially at my dad, silently steaming that my sister's cooking was being praised. While she rarely outwardly claimed credit for the quality of the dinner, she never gave it to my sister. And God forbid you complimented my sister directly. Mom would see at the far end of the table, then hijack the conversation back to herself or try to covertly insult somebody. As an adult, I got to the point where I was happy to work on Thanksgiving the 2 years I was in retail, and I took off for most of the day when I got an office job and had the day off. Thanksgiving week 2019 marks an extremely traumatic family tribal council arranged by my parents. The extreme stress compounded with my exhaustion and resulted in a traumatic brain injury. My symptoms of it linger to this day. It was over a cheesecake recipe, and I don't mean to laugh, but it's always over something stupid. It's always out of no over something, and here it comes. Here it comes. Apparently her cookbook from the 80s that had fallen apart decades prior, that she only used one recipe from, was suddenly missing that page. She made a 4-day event out of blaming me for that page being missing because I had gone through that drawer the year prior. So you went in and you ripped a page out of her book, the only page she used. Okay. See, again, that's projection. That's something she would do. That just tells you the levels she will go to screw with you and your sisters. It was so full of books and pamphlets and defunct manuals for items we hadn't had in decades we couldn't close it anymore. I ran every item past her before tossing it, even though I knew what items we didn't have. I knew she would be scorned by it either way. She claimed she'd been making that same recipe for 40 years, and there was not anything like it I can find on the internet, which is absurd on its face. I just feel so violated, she screamed several times. If she's been making it 40 years and she still has to look at the recipe, at the cookbook, she don't know what she's doing. She don't know how is that possible? How is it possible after 40 years she still needs the recipe book? Really? This event was a level of retaliation that I didn't see coming, timed perfectly to ruin my 4 consecutive days off after 2 weeks of consecutive work days. At this time, my father and his partner had sold the co-owned company, and my dad had stayed on as a manager. The office was being run ragged manually, inputting our customer database to the new owner system and onboarding another company's accounts that were dumped onto us into our system. Then to the new owner system on top of regular duties. Gotta love corporate morons. We were literally trying to keep the whole operation afloat, making sure everyone got paid properly, keeping my dad out of the hot seat. I was burnt out and they both knew it. They resented how hard I worked alongside the rest of the office. The rest of the office. I'm the fuck I'm the fuck up, no good, mean child, mean difficult child, remember? I can't hold a candle to my perpetually unemployed student golden child brother who doesn't give her grief like I did. He was voted MVP on his golf team in high school. What a good boy. I consider this event to be the single most unforgivable act of joint abuse my parents ever committed towards me. 2020 marked a few years of comparative peace because my relatives didn't want to have family gatherings except for outside. We had a few birthday parties in the front driveway that year. We all noticed how much more peaceful it was. I didn't fully realize at the time just how hateful my mom is towards certain family. Without them there, mom was much less of a monster. The downside was she went multiple years without an annual holiday purge. The hoard soon spilled onto the porch, and for years our dining table barely had room for more than one plate at a time outside of Thanksgiving Day. 2021 was much of the same. 2022 was the first year family was willing to get together. A year mom claimed she was too sick to host. So my still in contact aunt on my father's side ordered catering and we went to her condo without mom, and that was lovely. Isn't that weird? She's not there and you have a good holiday. My mother always hated this aunt. She has her own issues, but mostly it's that my mother's superiority-inferiority complex is inflamed by her. That's her own story. 2023 was my first year of no contact. Even for the handful of family members I text or call now, I was only rarely checking in with them as I was trying to establish trust. Apparently, my mom was quite frantic to control any conversation going on, interrupting people frequently, probably paranoid that people would start asking about me. They were, and mom was sure to shut those conversations down with the usual, "We're estranged and we don't know why" line. Funny, other times they're proud to tell people we disowned her. Weird, another estranged parent that has no clue why what happened. This was also my first year of marriage, and I was early in my first pregnancy. Looking back, it was a lot to handle in 1 year. Discard, no contact, marriage, then family planning several months later. I have my husband to thank for getting me through it. I basically spent the first 2 years of our marriage in crisis and survival mode. He has been so incredibly patient and supportive. I've come out the other side, the most normal and healthy version of myself I've ever been. Only my husband's little brother was able to join us for Thanksgiving 2023. The contrast was astounding. As I was facing extreme fatigue, it was hard for me to stand up for long periods of time. My husband made a fantastic Thanksgiving dinner, having his brother help with the prep. I baked dinner rolls from scratch and got up every hour for a round of hand washing to keep the dishes under control. There was a lot of laughing and jokes, and no one acted like it was a big deal. It was a massive wake-up call in what would be a series of reality checks around food for me. There's no fucking reason it has to be so stressful. No, it doesn't. And it's unbelievable once you get these people out of your life, the things you're able to enjoy again. In 2024, we moved once more, so the family was all together, plus our new baby. It was quite similar, except the grandparents' house has a dishwasher and a double oven, making my contribution to the day a lot easier. My husband's family often jokes I'm everyone's favorite because I like doing the dishes, and I genuinely do, especially after someone else cooks. I hear thank you more in a single Thanksgiving week with my in-laws than my family of origin for my entire childhood. Unfortunately, that is not an exaggeration. That all being said, I still get to be a fly on the wall sometimes through family. This Thanksgiving is going to be a doozy for the narc. Mom texted she was really sick last week and therefore unable to host Thanksgiving week. Yeah, she's unable to clean up her hoarded out shithole. That's her problem. COVID really screwed up screwed up a lot of people's plans. She sent a lengthy text message to the family group chat that includes my aunt on my father's side and her daughter, but excludes my older sister and obviously me about how she wouldn't be hosting, calling out my aunt directly for never ever helping during Thanksgiving. She just can't stop throwing fuel on the fire. Why does everybody else deal with her at this point? Why? Why does the rest of the family continue to put up with this disaster? This is why you don't show up. This is why you don't go. This is what's waiting for so many of you. If you decide, if you think maybe they've changed, maybe it'll be different this time. No, it won't. My little sister, who I am no contact with, will be hosting her husband's family, and my older sister will once again be participating in Friendsgiving with her chosen family. This will leave my dad and older brother with two options: stay with mom that day or go and have Thanksgiving dinner with my little sister. Either way, it's not going to be a good time for them. Personally, I bet mom canceled because the writing is on the wall and she doesn't want to host the handful of dad's family that she hates, and she just doesn't want to clean up. You're not there to help her clean up her hoarded out mess. Sometimes it's hard to understand when you say no contact is your revenge, but it is very true. Without me there to be picked on, without my older sister to start fights with, and now possibly without any family joining her at all, the Queen of Fantasyland has hardly any subjects to lord over. That's the best way to take their power away, is simply don't be there. I spent a lot of my first year of no contact ruminating about what was happening or going to happen back with my family of origin, worried about the smear campaigns or if they would try to find me. Thankfully, still no contact. These days I laugh at what antics get back to me. I'm curious what you think, but I think Thanksgiving 2025 marks a serious shift in the power dynamic that will cause her to become even more volatile. Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely. I have warned my older sister to brace for it. It's quite possible hosting will shift permanently to our little sister and her chef husband. The sight of a man helping out with literally anything steeps my mom in resentment of her daughters and her own husband. By losing control of Thanksgiving, she's also losing control of the narrative. Long gone are the days of if I don't host Thanksgiving, no one is. I'm glad not to be there, but I'm happy to be a fly on the wall, especially to give mutual validation. Happy Thanksgiving. Sunshine. Yeah, well, what you're dealing with here, the Queen of Fantasyland here, I do remember that video. The Queen of Fantasyland, as they get older and they lose more and more control, they get more and more angry, more and more agitated, more vindictive. Understand, your mother hates women. She sees every woman as direct competition. Even though she's getting older, competition for who? Competition for men, for attention. She wants all other women destroyed around her. All of them. But now as you've pulled away and you've just left her to sit there and rot in her own misery, she's going to get worse. She's going to get more vindictive and more bitter and more angry. She made her bed. Let her lie in it. Let her eat her narcissistic turkey. Let her eat her cluster bee meal all by herself with whoever wants to keep enabling her bullshit. And like you said, that I said, no contact is your revenge. The madder they get, the more you're winning. The madder and saltier they get, the bigger the victory. Always remember that. They're not getting mad because you've actually done something wrong. They're getting mad because they've lost control because you're winning. So I'm going to leave it there. Thank you, Sunshine, for another contribution and story. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, something you want to expose, you want to set up Skype, phone call, have a private video made, you like to sponsor a video like this for someone who needs help and can't afford it, or just make a contribution to the channel in general to keep it supported, growing, and successful, then you know what to do with either the Cash App, Zelle, PayPal, super thanks, and email links in the description box below. Also, please like, share, and hype this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. Also, be sure to subscribe to both channels on Rumble. If you haven't watched this video over there, please do. Even a click helps. Follow me on TikTok, X, and Telegram as well. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been Societal Narcissism. Take care, everyone.